She might have left my hood, but she was born in my town. You didn't know how we were still on the scene. It's alright, it's alright. I know you know I see you smiling at me. It's alright, it's alright. Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boy for the style. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say we rep the style. So what you talking about? I'm not running out my mouth. I know this without a doubt. If you know these streets, then these streets know you. When it's time to handle business, then we know what to do. What's the do? Me and my crew, we stay true, old school and new. What's up, guys? Welcome to Terrific Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good week. Here comes the boom. So, it's Mr. Mac here, live and in person, coming to you from my dining room. So, quick video today, guys. I'm just going to go over the stuff from Friday on two-way tables. First, you do not have to turn this in. This is just, we're going to go over this so that you guys can understand this. Okay? Second thing, since I posted grades Sunday night, I got a lot of you guys turning in stuff today. In fact, when I got up today, but when I finally got online, I had a couple of meetings this morning. When I checked my mail, I think I had 77 emails from students turning in assignments. So I am grading them as fast as I can. I will get those graded and updated on the grade book. So if you don't see your grade changed right away, just chill. I'm working on it. Progress reports go out at the end of, I think, over the weekend. And I will make sure that I get everything graded before progress reports go out. So let's get into Friday's two-way table worksheet. Let me pull that up for you. All right, so here we go, guys. So remember, a two-way table, we're looking at variables, but on two different categories. And those categories can have a variety of options. So on our problem that we looked at on Friday, you've got a couple of, you have two categories. One is what grade is somebody in, and the other one is can they swim or not. So here, let me fix this window real quick. All right, see if that's a little bit better. So, can they swim or can't they swim? What grade are they in? Okay. So, as I said on Friday, they are whatever problem that you're working on. They will give you the numbers of who can swim and who can't swim. So we can see on our table here that we've got 120, and then 168, and then 172, 60. 11, and 3. Okay? So, the first thing that we can do that's super easy, we can go ahead and total these up. All right? So, we're going to total them across, and we're going to total them down. So, let's go across. So, here's 7th graders. 120 can and 160 can't. So, how many total 7th graders are there? There's 180. 8th graders, 168 and 11 is going to be 179. And then 172 and 3 is going to be 175. Okay? Now let's add up and down. So this, pretty easy. 60 plus 11 is 71 plus 3 is 74. And this one, we got to bust out the calculator. So we got 120 plus 168 plus 172. 460. Now the grand total, you either add these two together. So this plus this equals that, or this plus this will equal. It's the same. Either way, we're going to get the same number. So let's just go 460 plus 74 is 534. If we added these three together, we're also going to end up with 534. Same thing. Okay? So now we've got that set up. Let's wait off on this second table. So complete the table, which we did. Let's see if we can go ahead and start answering questions before we get to the second table there. How many students need swimming lessons? All right, well, here is our column for can't swim. So I got 60 7th graders, 11 8th graders, and 3 9th graders cannot swim. So how many need swimming lessons? 74. They're not asking for a percent, they just said how many. Letter C, how many are in 8th grade? 168 can swim, 111 can't swim, but there's a total of 179 in 8th grade. Because look, we're going this way. Right? 8th graders, total 179. Letter D, how many of the 7th grade students cannot swim? 7th grade, can't swim, boom, gives it to us. Letter E, how many students in grades 7 and 8 can swim? So 7th graders that can swim is here, 8th grade that can swim is there. We just add them up and we end up with 288. So guys, super simple stuff here. They're just asking you basic questions about this table and you just answer them, add them up or whatever. Letter F, how many students are there altogether in grades 7, 8, and 9? Well, that's going to be the grand total, right? So here's grade 7, 180. Here's grade 8, 179. Here's grade 9. When you add these up, you get 534. That's the total number of students. Now, create a two-way relative frequency table. So now we're talking about the percentages. So remember what I told you guys. When you're doing percent, you're going to take the grand total number, 534. That's going to be the number that you divide by. So if we were to set it up as a fraction, 534 would be on the bottom. And then whatever number they're asking us for, we put up top here. So let's take a look at problem H. What is the relative frequency of students who are in 8th grade and can't swim? So now they're asking us for a percent. When they throw that relative frequency in there, they want a percent. So what percent of 8th grade students cannot swim? Well, what's the total number of 8th grade students that can't swim? It's right here. It's 11. So 11 is going to be now the top of our fraction. And remember, guys, a fraction is also a way to say division. You take the top number divided by the bottom number. If you punch it into your calculator, which you have to do here, the top number goes in first, 11, then divided by, then 534. That gives you a percent. And in order to change that percent, not a percent, it gives you a decimal. And in order to change that decimal to a percent, you multiply it times 100. So when I divide this 11 divided by 534, I get 0.020. Now I'm going to multiply that times 100 to get a percent. That's 2.05%. So the answer to H would be 2.05%. Now, let's just do this before we finish answering questions. Let's just go ahead and fill in these percents here. Okay? So down here is going to be the same. That's 534. And 534 represents 100% because that's the total number. All right? So how about we fill in the rest of these percents? It's just dividing. So let's take our first 7th graders who can swim, 120. What percent is that? It's 120 divided by 534. 120 divided by 534 is 0.22, and I change that to a percent, and I get 22, and I'll round it, 22.5%. So 22.5%. We'll just go across. 7th graders that can't swim, 60. 60 divided by 534 is 0.11. I change that to a percent. I get 11.2%. And what's the total? 180 divided by 534 is 33.7%, which is exactly what would be if we just added these two together. So 22.5 plus 11.2, 33.7%. Let's keep going. 168 divided by 534 is 31.5%. 11 divided by 534, this is one we just did, it is 2.1%. And if I add those together, I get 33.6%. Let's go to ninth grade. 172 divided by 534 is 32.2%. And then 3 divided by 534 is, wow, let's see, 0.6%. Or 0.12. Actually, it's going to be 0.5%, I believe. 0.5%. 7. Yeah. And if I add these together, I get 32.7. Would this equal 100? 13 and 7 is 10. Pretty close. Should be close enough. It might be off like by a decimal. Let's go here to the totals. 460 divided by 534. Oops. 460 divided by 534 is 86.1%. And then last, 74 divided by 534 is 13.9%. Okay, so 30, yes. And you'll note if I add this together, it comes out to 100. Add these three together, it comes out to 100. So that's all it is, guys. You just are taking these numbers and dividing by the total. That gives you what's called the relative frequency. Now we can just go through and blaze the last couple of questions. What percentage of ninth grade students can swim? Let's see, ninth grade can swim. Ninth grade can swim, 32.2%. What percentage of students cannot swim? So the total. Now, can't swim is 74, so down here that would be this, 13.9%. Can't swim total, that's it. What percentage of students are ninth graders? Okay, so how many students are ninth graders? 175. What percent is that? 32.7. That's it, guys. Super, super easy. All right, so that's it. That's all we're going to go over tonight. Here's what I want you to do. For tomorrow, if you would, please watch the next video on Algebra Nation. Okay, so that is Chapter 10 or Section 10, the very last one. We're doing the second video, which I think is still on two-way tables. So let's go over that. Just watch that, and then on tomorrow's video, I'm going to go over the key points. Again, see if you can get as much of your makeup work done. Guys, remember, things have not changed since when we were in the classroom. Look, I don't care if you turn it in late. Turn it in whenever you can finish it. I want this to be as stress-free as possible. I don't want you guys stressing out over how much stuff you got to turn in. Do it when you can. Turn it in. There's no time frame as long as we get it before the end of school. Now, that being said, I don't want you guys to get so far behind or owe so much stuff that you're going to be overwhelmed in a couple weeks. So try to stay on top of it if you can. But don't freak out if you owe some stuff from a couple weeks ago. You turn it in whenever. I'm cool like that, okay? So guys, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.